Hey everyone, it's me, that retro geek. Thank you for joining me for another YouTube video discussion. You know, out of all the things that I could talk about, all the things that have been popping into my head lately, I even recorded another video that I may or may not put up still because I don't really know how I feel about it. I might either do it again or just be like, you know what, screw it, it's good enough. I recorded it last week, but I just didn't upload it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that video yet, but out of all the things that pop into my head, for some reason this one did. And now I'm deciding to do a video on it, so just roll with me on it. I do apologize. You already know what it is because I'm just that kind of YouTuber that likes to put everything out there in the title and in the little caption and all that, so that way when you click on it, you know exactly what you're going to get. That could just be me because I'm just a middle-aged balding gamer that just likes the old school stuff and doesn't really care for much modern stuff. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into this video discussion. What are your thoughts about this? Because it's kind of an interesting little thing to think about. What do you think works better for gaming? Announcing a game too early or holding on to a game until it's ready to be released, but you don't think anything's coming? You know, like, I can give an example right now with PlayStation VR 2. I have both the PlayStation VR headsets, and I even thought about buying the MetaQuest 3 just so that way I can have a third one that's wireless that my kids can use while I use PSVR 2 and another kid uses PSVR 1 and we all play Beat Saber together or something, just as an example. You know, like we just find a multiplayer game to do together. But that's neither here nor there. Right now we don't have any games being discussed about what's really coming. Like we don't have any first-party games from Sony about the PSVR 2. I guess my cat just wanted to say hello, so he interrupted the video. I do apologize. Anyways, outside of that brief moment of interruption, I do apologize. Let's get back to the discussion. But you know, in some ways it's kind of cool. Like as an example with Nintendo, another great company that likes to hold their cards close to their chest, you don't know what's coming. You know, like the only game that I know of that's really coming is Princess Peach Showtime, coming out this Friday. But other than that, what do we have at the end of the year? What do we have in 2025? Are we getting anything in 2025? I understand the reasons why they want to do that. They don't want to just let people know, yes, Metroid Prime 4 is in fact coming in December. Or, you know, give away their plans of, hey, yeah, we're definitely going to release the Switch 2 by the end of the year. They want to keep people surprised and on the edge of their seats. And in some ways, it's a good thing to announce games early because, hey, at least you know they're working on this game. They're working on another Perfect Dark. They're working on whatever game. But then you kind of forget about it. Like an example is with The Plucky Squire, a game that was shown off, I think, last year? Or maybe the year before that. I don't remember when it was first shown off at Summer Games Fest, but I've been looking forward to that game, coming out for so long, and it still says it's coming out. It doesn't have an exact release date yet. And Pragmata, a game that for some reason was announced with the PS5, like when that system launched, and it still says just announced on the PlayStation Store. What's the deal with that game? And that's sort of an example of, like, that's sort of how it's detrimental. Does that make sense? Because you show off a game too early, and you're just showing off cutscenes, and you're not really showing off gameplay, and you're not really showing off an accurate representation of what this game is. And so that's kind of annoying. You know, it's kind of annoying where you just say, oh, it's just all cutscenes. By the time they show off the actual gameplay, it's changed so much from what it is, you just put it off altogether. Because it's like, oh, this is not what we were shown. Which is just a sort of a little bit of what I was kind of talking about in that last video that I did not put up. So maybe I'll put it up as a follow-up. I don't know. But then by the time you show up, but if you wait till later, people might lose interest. Like, as an example, by the time we know where Metroid Prime 4 is, whether it's a Switch game, a Switch 2 game, what month, what year, is anybody going to care anymore? Maybe the diehard Metroid fans, but the casual audience that maybe you could have gotten if you had kept showing off more of it every single year, like you do with Zelda, like you do with Mario. Like, how many updates did we get with Tears of the Kingdom? We got quite a few before its release. I don't know. I guess it's just kind of a hard point to make, because they're both detrimental in their own ways, and they're both beneficial in their own ways. It's beneficial to know, hey, yeah, Sony's working on an Astrobot game for the VR. They're working on another Astro's Rescue Mission, or whatever the game was called that I really loved for PSVR, and that's coming to PSVR 2. You have to look for, can't wait to look forward to it. Or we have this game announced, or we have whatever. And outside of these indie developers or these third-party developers, we don't really have anything other than Horizon to show off for the PSVR 2, which is a great piece of hardware and definitely worth it. But why not work on getting more of these games over? Like, why is Azura's Wrath not on there? I understand that there are some games that are owned by Epic Games or owned by Steam or whoever it is, but you can get Robo Recall, you can get some of these games that are MetaQuest only games over, because if you can get Beat Saber, and that's an Oculus game, it seems like you can do it. I don't know what kind of fancy footwork and deals you have to make, but you could probably do it to help sell the hardware, right? But then at what point do you stop? Because like with me, I bought the PSVR 2 for specific games, one of which is a game called Behemoth, that as far as I know isn't even launched yet. So how long until I lose interest in that game before I just put the headset away and just go, you know what, I don't really care anymore about it. It's just money wasted. So I guess it is finding that right balance. So what do you prefer? Because a part of me wants middle ground on this. Like, I don't want a game to be announced right when it's coming out, because that's kind of annoying. In some ways it's exciting, because like, oh hey, this game is only a week away. Or hey, this game is being shadow dropped today. You can play it right now. But I'm also kind of cost conscious. Like, I can't just go off and just buy every single game that comes out when it launches, as much as I would love to just blow my entire paycheck. I have bills and food that I have to eat and other responsibilities. So I can't just drop everything. So I have to plan. Okay, for this month I'm going to play this, and if I beat it early, I have this cheaper game as a backup to play. Or I really want to play this one. This is my game of the month, and I'm going to stretch it out as long as I can to try to make it last for 2 or 3 weeks, so I can then take a week off from gaming and then get ready for my next one. Or again, if it takes me only 2 weeks to beat it, then I have this backup game to play or something. Does that make sense? Like, I have to be cost conscious and also aware of the time that I'm spending on games. So I can't just be like, oh yeah, I really want to play that game, but I'm in the middle of doing this one, and then in order for me to play it, I have to wait a week, and then I have to move another game around. So part of me wants to be able to plan ahead and go, yes, I'm going to play that game when it comes out and keep an eye on it, but I don't want it to be so far in the future that I basically forget about the game, because maybe whatever advertising happens to it, it loses that momentum that it would have had. Like, I'm worried that Plucky Squire is going to lose its momentum because, yeah, it's got a revolutionary looking idea and it looks like it's going to be cool and fun to play, but by the time it drops, is anybody going to care anymore? Because we might be drowned out. Like, Alone in the Dark is a good example of a game that was initially announced, I think, last year. It's coming out in like October or November. It's supposed to be a horror game, so that makes sense. Instead, I think it came out this month. So now it's being drowned out by Dragon's Dogma 2. Sorry about that. And Rise of the Ronin. Like, it's being drowned out. So I don't know, man. It was just a random rant that I wanted to do, so I apologize for taking up your time, and I appreciate if you watch the video all the way through. As always, no pressure from me, of course, but feel free to put your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think about this, about whether it's more beneficial to show a game early and just keep us updated on it, or wait and surprise us, because I can see both sides of the coin. I can see how they're beneficial in one way and detrimental in the other, on both sides. But that's all I'm going to do for you now. I've got to get back to work, so I'm going to find the time to edit this, or I might just upload it raw and just put it to YouTube. And hope you guys have yourself a great rest of your day. If I don't talk to you at all the rest of this week, have a good week too. See ya.